Have you noticed how some people seem to live in a completely different world than yours? While you're working overtime on Fridays, the 1% is toasting on their yachts in the Mediterranean. And no, darling, it's not because they're lucky. It's because they think and act completely differently than you do. This is Duchess Dollars, and today I'm going to show you how the 1% thinks while you keep believing that working 60 hours a week is the path to wealth. Spoiler alert, it's not. When Leonardo DiCaprio traded another girlfriend who turned 25 for a younger one, he was just following the rich person's manual of always upgrading his assets. There you are, renewing your Netflix subscription while the rich renew their investment portfolio. If you're tired of seeing your boss taking vacations in Tuscany while you're happy with an extended weekend in Atlantic City, pay attention. Because that difference isn't in their salary, it's in their mindset. The 1% doesn't wake up at 5 a.m. to be productive. They wake up at 10 a.m. like me, because they've hired people to be productive for them. That's why my Mr. Millionaire never wakes up before 9 a.m., and yet he multiplies his money while he sleeps. Rich people don't rise early, darling. Rich people invest. The first thing the 1% understands is the difference between an asset and a liability. While you're happy because you bought a new car with 60 installments, the 1% is buying dividend-paying stocks to buy cars in cash. You have a car that depreciates 20% when it leaves the dealership. They have investments that appreciate 20% per year. I stopped by the gym this morning at 10 a.m. because rising early is for poor people, and I saw all those people running on the treadmill like hamsters on a wheel. That's exactly how the system wants you to live, running to get nowhere. The 1% doesn't chase money, they make money chase them. The 1% doesn't think about earning a salary. They think about creating income streams. It's like the difference between collecting water with a bucket or building an irrigation system. The poor have a job, the rich have investments, businesses, and people working for them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And no, I'm not saying this by chance. Harvard University studies show that 80% of millionaires have at least 7 different sources of income. Meanwhile, the average person depends on a single paycheck. One paycheck only. If that company fires you tomorrow, what happens to your life? Have you thought about that? My Mr. Millionaire taught me early on that having just one job is like having a single client in a business. It's a terrible risk. That's why he has investments in real estate, stocks, startups, and even a winery in California. Not because he loves wine, but because he loves watching money grow while he tastes a $500 Cabernet. The 1% knows that attention is the new oil. While you waste hours scrolling through TikTok, they're turning attention into money. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. You're giving me your attention, and I'm turning it into value for both of us. You learn to be rich, I get views. It's a win-win, as we say in the business world. The harsh truth is that your job will never make you rich, never. You can get promoted, get a raise, work more hours, but you'll still be trading your time for money. The 1% doesn't do that. They use money to buy more time and freedom. When I interviewed Warren Buffett for my secret podcast, which Mr. Millionaire doesn't know I have because he doesn't like me working, but I love doing things in secret, he told me that people's biggest mistake is not starting to invest early enough. And he's right. Let's do a quick calculation. If you invest $500 per month starting at age 25 with an average return of 8% per year, by age 65, you'll have more than $1.5 million. Now, if you start at 35, you'll only have $650,000. The difference? Almost $900,000. That's the price you pay for waiting, darling. It's literally almost $1 million. But there's something the 1% does that completely changes the game. They think big, really big. While you're dreaming about a promotion that will increase your salary by 10%, they're planning how to increase their net worth by 10 times. One of Mr. Millionaire's biggest clients, yes, he has clients, he's not just a handsome, rich husband, once told me that he never hires people who think in thousands when he thinks in millions. Because the energy is different, you know? It's like comparing someone who's planning a picnic in the park with someone who's planning a trip to Mars. The 1% doesn't spend their time thinking about how to save $20 at the supermarket. They think about how to earn an extra $20,000 per month. It's a difference in mindset. Rich people don't save pennies, rich people multiply dollars. And look, I'm not saying it's easy. None of this is easy. If it were, everyone would be rich. And then who would work in the mall stores while I shop? Who would drive my Uber when I go out to dinner? The system needs people working, and it's designed to keep the majority exactly where they are. running on the treadmill. But you, who are watching this video, you don't want to be like the majority, right? You want to be exceptional. You want to be part of the 1%. And that's why you're here with me, learning the secrets that the rich don't share at cocktail parties. One of those secrets is that the 1% understands the power of leverage. Leverage means using tools, people, or money to multiply your impact. While the poor try to do everything alone, the rich use leverage to do more with less effort. For example, I don't clean my house, not because I'm lazy, but because my time is worth more doing other things, like this video that can reach thousands of people. I pay $200 for someone to clean my house, which frees me up to do activities that generate $2,000. It's basic math, darling. The 1% also understands the power of compound interest, which Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world. It's like a snowball that keeps growing as it rolls down the mountain. At first, it seems small and insignificant, but over time it becomes an unstoppable force. Let me tell you something that happened to me last week. I was dining at the Peninsula Hotel, drinking a $400 champagne, a bargain by local standards, when I overheard two executives at the next table discussing an investment that had tripled in 3 years. You know what it was? Real estate in Nashville. While most people were arguing about politics on Twitter, these two were quietly accumulating properties in a growing city. And that's how the game is played, darling. While the masses are distracted with celebrities, reality shows, and political dramas, the 1% is focused on accumulating assets, closing deals, and multiplying their wealth. Another secret of the 1% is that they understand the value of connections. Your net worth is directly proportional to your network. That's why I go to $10,000 a ticket charity dinners. It's not for the mediocre food, believe me, it's for the people who are there. At one of these events, I met a woman who ended up introducing me to the largest real estate investor in Miami. That contact generated a deal that earned millions for Mr. Millionaire. It was the most expensive dinner I've ever paid for, but also the most profitable. While you spend hours on Instagram looking at other people's lives, the 1% is at exclusive clubs, VIP events, and private dinners, building relationships that are worth gold. Rich people don't have time for social media, darling, unless they're making money from it like I am. Of course, not everyone was born with a silver spoon like me. My father worked so hard to get rich that I was born tired, as I always say. But that doesn't mean you can't change your situation. The first step is to change your mindset. If you continue thinking like a poor person, you'll continue living like a poor person. It's that simple. Rich people think about opportunities. Poor people think about obstacles. Rich people ask, how can I? Poor people state, I can't. Let's do a quick exercise. The next time you're going to buy something, instead of thinking, can I afford this? Ask, how can I make this money work for me? Instead of buying that Michael Kors bag, which frankly is what people who can't afford Chanel use, invest that money in dividend-paying stocks. I know it seems less sexy in the moment, but you know what's really sexy? Financial freedom. It's sexier than any handbag, believe me. The 1% also has a completely different relationship with risk. While the average person runs from risks, the rich calculate them and take them intelligently. I'm not talking about gambling. I'm talking about calculated risks. When Elon Musk, yes, he's my secret crush, don't tell Mr. Millionaire, invested almost all his PayPal money in Tesla and SpaceX, everyone thought he was crazy. Now he's one of the richest men in the world. Why? Because he understood that the biggest risk is not taking risks. And you know what else? The 1% doesn't just have a plan A. They have a plan B, C, D, all the way to Z. They're always prepared for different scenarios. When the pandemic hit, while many people were panicking, the 1% was buying stocks at liquidation prices, investing in technology companies, and positioning themselves for the future. Mr. Millionaire always tells me that in times of crisis, money doesn't disappear. It just changes hands. And it usually goes to the hands of those who are prepared. That's how he tripled his wealth during the 2008 crisis, buying real estate at very low prices from desperate people. Is it cruel? Maybe. Is that how the world works? Absolutely. Another secret of the 1% is that they're obsessed with financial knowledge. Not the kind of knowledge you learn in school. Because, let's be honest, the educational system was designed to create good employees, not millionaires. They seek knowledge about how money really works. Mr. Millionaire reads at least one business book per week and watches videos like this every day. He invests more in his mind than in his clothes. although his Brioni suits might suggest otherwise. Traditional education teaches you to work for money. Financial education teaches you to make money work for you. That's why I make a point of going to at least 3 investment conferences per year, even if it means missing Paris Fashion Week. The horror, I know. But here's the secret that really separates the rich from the poor. The rich own their time. The average person trades their time for money, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, for 40 years of their life. In the end, they've earned money but lost their life. The rich invest their money in a way that allows them to buy their time back. That's why I can decide not to work on Thursdays and Fridays. That's why I can travel to Aspen in the middle of the week. It's not because I'm lazy, it's because I understood the game. If you want to start thinking like the 1%, start by changing your relationship with time and money. Stop thinking about hours as a source of income, and start thinking about assets that generate income while you sleep. And speaking of assets, did you know that your knowledge is also one? That's right. What you know can be transformed into digital products, courses, books, consulting. Your brain is a money-making machine if you know how to use it. But the biggest secret of the 1% is that they have the courage to act. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. You can watch all my videos, read all the finance books, follow all the investment gurus, but if you don't act, nothing will change. If this video is inspiring you, subscribe to the channel right now and hit the notification bell, because I want you to succeed in life just like me. I want you to get off the hamster wheel and start building your empire. Leave a like if you're ready to start thinking like the 1% and abandon once and for all that poor mindset that keeps you working overtime. I've left in the first pinned comment several links to rich products that will help you on this journey. Products that I use and that have changed my life, besides Mr. Millionaire, of course. Remember, the difference between the 1% and the other 99% isn't luck, inheritance, or connections. It's mindset. It's how they think about money, time, and value. And the good news? Mindset can be learned. Today you learned that the 1% doesn't work for money. They make money work for them. You learned that they think in assets, not salaries, that they value time more than money, that they take calculated risks, that they're obsessed with financial knowledge, and above all, that they have the courage to act. Now the question is, will you continue thinking like the 99%, or will you start thinking like the 1%? If you like this video, comment below, rich and free. I want to see who's really committed to changing their financial life. This is Duchess Dollars, and remember, being rich isn't just having money, it's having freedom. Until the next video.